So before going ahead and showing you the back, I thought I'd show you the front first. So of course we are going to have the driver's seat because this is where you're going to drive the truck. We do have the engines which control all those wheels that are in the back. And we do have this controller that controls this door. But other than that, we have a sink. So the reason we have the sink is because it also has a toilet. So not only is this where you drive the truck, but it is also where you do your business. Now, this is the only way I could do this. There was other options, but I thought it just looked super weird putting it in the other part of the house, and you'll see why a little bit later. So despite having this divider here, you have no privacy at all actually. If you just simply look back while you're the driver, you're going to see the character frantically wobbling his head and shaking his body all crazy while using the bathroom. But, I mean, it is pretty good to have it there. I mean, there's no other way that we can have this anywhere else, so this is the second best thing. So now I went ahead and removed this wall that was blocking the view of the rest of the house. So I'm going to try my best to not show you anything else that is in the house, and I'm going to try to go into this one room that is right here. So we're going to just simply walk over here, going to make our way, and here's the door. So this part of the house is the only part of the house that does have this brick that is lining up against the walls, and it is the only part of the house that has these lights. So I mean, I could add these elsewhere, but I don't really think that they do well in other areas of the house. So first, let's go ahead and take a look at this room. So upon entering the room, you can see already that this thing does look, I think it looks pretty cool. I mean, I did make it, so I am pretty biased on this. But, I mean, we have this thing, I don't really know exactly what this is, I just thought it looked pretty cool, and it did fill this empty space that is right here. So I went ahead and added this chair as well in the corner. All I did was put a bearing, and you can see right here I have the controller for it. So if I open it up, you can see that I did put this at -45 degrees so that it can be in the corner. And it doesn't really block the door. I don't really think that it causes any problems, so that's good as well. So moving on to this thing. So I thought I'd make some sort of TV, and I don't really know how well it turned out since you can't really change the color of the glass or the windows. So it does pretty much just look like that, but it's on here against the wall. And for some reason it does have the reflection of the outside area, which is fine. I mean, we could be watching the Discovery Channel or something. There's nothing wrong with that. So now moving on to this. So I did want to add some sort of drawers or something, and I do have my shoes here. I mean, we need a second pair of shoes. So the next part of the room is this area. So I decided to put these two windows here because I thought it'd actually make the room look a lot better. Because if I didn't have these here, this would just look like just a wall, and I don't really think that that really worked well. So that's why those two windows are here. As for the coffee table, I decided to go with this coffee table. Most of the theme, as you can already tell, is a lot of dark colors with light colors. So I decided to make the legs of the table black, but make the coffee table actually this color, the same color as the floor. So the lamps, I decided to put them out of the wall instead of actually on the table, because on the table they just look pretty weird, and it didn't leave enough room on the table to actually do anything with. So I decided to just put them on the wall. So for the bed, all I did was use concrete, and with the new paint tool, I just painted everything, and it actually came out pretty cool, I think. So moving on from that room, we are going to go directly into the dining room, which has the most light for some reason. I don't know why, but this room really has a lot of light in it, and I think it only has 2 windows. So let's go ahead and take a look at that right now. So for some reason, these 2 windows are adding a bunch of light to only this specific area, which I mean is fine. It does look pretty cool when you actually look at it from this angle. You can see the light rays coming in and everything. So for the table, I decided to do this sort of design. I didn't really know what else to do. I went on Google and I tried to look up dining rooms, and I couldn't really think of anything that I can do, so I kind of did take an idea, and I went with the black table. And again, I'm using most of the colors that I've already used before. So the floor color, I use that for the chairs, and the black I just used for the table and for the chairs as well. So other than that, there's really nothing else that is in this room that is interesting other than these 2 plants here. I mean, those things aren't really that great. I do have this thing here, which is off center, so I'm going to have to change that later on. I don't know if I want to add more windows. I think it has enough light already, but I mean, we can add more windows if I see it necessary. So moving on from the dining room, we can just simply walk into the kitchen, which I think is really cool. So once we head into the kitchen, we can see we do have this large fridge with a box on top of it. I don't really know what that box is. I just put it there because I thought it'd fill that empty space. So we do have our oven and our stoves. We do have the paper towels. We have the sink. And these windows actually open up. So if we just press that button there, we can actually see that these things actually open up. And I think that is pretty cool, because I do see that some kitchens do have some sort of thing like this. And I thought I wanted to implement that in here. So moving on from that, we do have our little radio, which plays whatever the hell plays. Currently it's playing whatever that is. And we do have windows over here as well. These do not open up, but I thought they actually would fill this empty space again. Most of the stuff I do is just to fill empty space, and I don't know. I think these actually look okay. So there's pretty much nothing else over here. There's just pretty much counter space. We do have these cabinets here, which I do think actually look pretty cool. But other than that, there's nothing pretty much else with this kitchen. I mean, we are done. All I have is stools, this table, and oh yeah, these lights up here. I completely forgot about these lights. But again, I went on Google and I searched up modern kitchens, and I saw these lights and I thought they'd actually look pretty cool above this table, so I did put that in there. So now we're moving on to, I think, what is my favorite part of the house, just because I like the way it looks. And this is the living room. So we do have this one chair here, which, I mean, a lot of living rooms I would assume do have. I don't really know exactly how your living situation is, but I did, again, Google some stuff, and they do have some chairs. So we do have, of course, a large couch to accommodate this large family that's going to be living in here, which is just, you know, this guy right here. And he has a large TV, which I would assume is more of a projector instead of a TV. I mean, it looks more like a projector instead of a TV. It would have made more sense to put something up here or up here to, you know, flash onto there. But, I mean, we can always change this later on. So on this actual thing, I decided to put these speakers here, which are simply just one of those curved blocks. And now that I realize it, it is off center, which is going to bother me. So I'm going to have to change that. Okay, there we go. That is much better. Okay, so now that I fixed that, I did add these lights up here. I just thought they'd look cool there. I just pretty much just take the idea from that over there. So over here, this is my favorite part of the actual room itself. I did add a little chimney area, a little fireplace chimney. And these windows. I just thought that that actually looked pretty cool. I found a picture on Google. I don't really know exactly what it was, but I thought it looked like a living room, and they did have a lot of windows, and I didn't want to do that. So I decided I'd just put the windows here and then just put the chimney right in the middle of it. So it actually fit pretty well. I do have these lights above here. And that is pretty much the only things that are in the house. I mean, there isn't really anything else, and this thing does take up a lot of space, so that is why I couldn't put the bathroom back here, so I just decided to put the bathroom up there. Doesn't really matter, really. So once you're done doing your cooking, your dining, your sleeping, and your living, you can just simply come over here, push this button down, and once you open this up, you can just simply walk out. So we didn't make this larger because there's a lot of controllers and switches and stuff, and that was before I changed this. So now that I changed everything, we are going to destroy this whole thing later on. But before I do that, I will put this in the description so you can download it and do whatever you want with it. But as for now, this is what it looks like. And later on down the road, I'm sure there'll be a better door. But for now, you're going to have to crouch. And once you crouch, you could just walk out and push the button. And then there you go. You're on your way. So that is pretty much all that is inside of the truck. Now that I think about it, it does look like an elephant once it is fully open. I don't know, that's just odd. So, I hope you guys enjoyed the inside of the truck. Now we're going to move on to something else which I think you guys are going to enjoy. So of course, I'm sure you guys want to see what this thing can do on the road, or on the grass, or whatever the hell this is. So I thought I'd show you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to follow this road as best as possible and as fast as possible. So we're going to see how long this takes actually. So it seems like instead of actually turning, it sort of like glides on the road. And that's kind of weird, even though I did put the bearings on 4 or 5 wheels, I think. So it should be able to turn quite well, but it just doesn't. I think it's just too heavy in the back for it. So it looks like we simply just cannot get up here. The thing is too wide and the roads are just way too uneven to actually get any speed or to actually have my wheels on the floor. So that about wraps it up for this humble abode on road, or the truck house, or the transforming truck house, or the transforming truck into full house, whatever you want to call it. I mean, this thing is great for being stationary, but while it's in this mode with the actual house all full blown out and as wide as it is, you're not going to be able to get around to many places. You're not going to be able to fit with all these trees that are around. I mean, in the desert you can, and I'm sure you can get to pretty good speeds there. But in these grassy areas, you're just not going to be able to do it. So if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. If you guys want to see some more, subscribe. If you guys hated this video, leave a dislike. If you guys want to see more, or if you guys have any ideas, let me know in the comments and I could possibly do it. So that is it. I will see you guys later.